deliberate that this meeting is a well-targeted one, one that is open for attendance, but purely by invitation. And like I said in my opening remarks, the reason is simple. We want to bring people, professionals, people with experience, people with know-how around the table to, try to do justice to the issue of Africa social policy reform. What has emerged from the discussion so far isn't actually very much far away from what we had in mind when we decided that, yes, the time is right, the time is now to initiate this conversation. And that fact is as follows. There exists Africa social policy. So this is not about initiating Africa social policy. It is about reforming what we have on the ground. But let's also pause for a while to consider in which context the reform that we're talking about falls into. It is not about reforming the social policy itself, but it is more about reforming the process. Because what is emerging here is that there are legislations, there are treaties, and there are all sorts of agreements, especially international agreements. The one thing that is lacking is a clear-cut policy or on a clear-cut process on how these international treaties, these agreements, and so on and so forth will be translated into practical actions that will affect the lives of individuals, families, and all of that in Africa. I believe that one of the key things I'm taking away from the discussion today is that there is a need for us to begin to reform the processes so that they begin to trickle down to the people they are meant for. Now, the gentleman from the Nigerian embassy, Mr. Sylvester O, very, very clearly articulated one of my thoughts. Now, you come to a summit of this nature, you have a number of thoughts, and you don't bring them all out, right from the beginning. You put some of them at the back of your mind and, pay attention and see how some of these will be echoed or re-echoed. And one of the ones that Mr. O has echoed very clearly is that we need effective and efficient institutions. Now, that is not very far from what we have in mind by setting up this discussion process, by setting up this Africa Social Policy Reform Summit. It is not meant to be a one-night stand in the sense that we've had discussions that point to the fact that we have just made a start, and then there are quite a lot to build on. And so, right from the moment we leave here, we will start doing what Ambassador Kamala and his colleagues within the East Africa sub-region have decided to be doing on a monthly basis, which is sharing information. We will share with you all that we have generated so far. In the run-up to this conference, we didn't want to bombard you with so much information that it gets confusing. Having heard all that we've heard so far, we're going to sift through those information that we have, see what is relevant within what we have established as a key takeaway from this conference, which is concentrating effort on reforming the process of trickling down these policies so that they make meaning to the individuals and the families. We will start from there. We will produce a report of this summit, and you will definitely be hearing from us going forward on how some of these would have to make sense to each and every one of us. I want to also add, in conclusive term, that our intention is to also organize in the course of the coming year, 2015, this is a pre-conference, pre-summit, we will be organizing country-based meetings, but very specific to the different countries, because each country has its own idiosyncrasies. We will identify those and then take time out in collaboration with the ambassadors, and I want to believe that that's one of the reasons that they were sent here, to identify what would be good for the countries and bring them home. So we would want to come home with you, those here and those that we still have to speak to, and see how we drive all these together. That would be it. I wouldn't know if any member of the high table has any further comments or concluding remarks to make, but that is for me by way of concluding remarks and so post-summit plans. Thank you very much. And Doreen, over to you.
Thank you so much, Collins. And indeed, you will be hearing from us. I just want to make a remark that 2015 is an important year for Africa in general. We talk about post-2015, but it is also a year of development that has been declared by the EU. So a lot of focus will go on on African states. And part of this summit actually is just a build-up to do more about African states, what we're doing and how we're going to change aspects of social welfare. We will deal with different aspects, from child mortality, child issues, to women issues, youth unemployment, which we've had. So those things will be broken down in sectors in the course of the year, so that at least during the year of development, we will make everyone also aware of best practices, status of those nations, and how they're dealing with those different sectors in a very successful way. Thank you for being here today, and wish you a great time of networking. Remember to pick up cards from each other, and we'll look forward to seeing you again in the fall.